I got the news that it didn't work out anymore and I had to part ways. And the first instinctive reaction was to take a motorcycle and just escape the crowd. So I looked back after I had done like almost 80 kilometers and I entered Jalandhar. Which is why I sort of put my hat back and said, "Are you there?" And he was not there. So India as a country, it changes every 200 kilometers. Once you start riding, once you start completing those 200 kilometers, you see a different culture, you see different people, you see different instances. So to say the way of selling, so to say the outside manners, so to say the driving style, so to say also the emotions of people when they interact with you are totally different every 200 kilometers. And this is a certain moment where you are just true to yourself. I think that's when you find out that you're truly so the world. And then if India gives me 200 kilometers, different people, I think the world will give me millions of people, millions of places. And that's my vision, I think.
Welcome all to this new exciting experience of being there, seeing that with Gokul Pillai. I am Gareema Shankar, and a cyclist is now going to interview a biker. So here we have Gokul Pillai, a biker who believes in touring around the world on his two wheels. And I'm a cyclist, as you all know. So this was one of my to-dos to interview a biker. So welcome, Gokul.
Hi Gareema, how are you?
I'm good. So tell me, this is more about knowing muscle power versus horsepower. I tour around with my muscle power and you tour around the world with horsepower.
Yeah.
So what is it? Why are you on a horsepower and not muscle power?
First of all, thank you for having me here. This is my first podcast, so to say, and I'm not used to this, but I'll try and give my best to this particular bit. The difference is, I think, 100 kilometers and a half.
Okay.
So that makes it exciting, so to say. But yeah, I mean, no disrespect to the cycling community. I think you guys are doing great. I mean, there's this one. I have wonderful stories on how cyclists inspired me to take trips along the coastal of India. So I've met a few cyclists doing the whole shoreline from Bombay to Kanyakumari on their cycles.
Yeah.
And them inspiring me to ride longer, ride harder. There was one of these stories back in the day, like I think it was 2021 or something. I was going to the mountains to Ladakh, and I met a cyclist on the way, and this cyclist asked me for fuel, and I was wondering where the cyclist need fuel, and this was when he told me he needs it for camp, and where he has to camp the night. And he needs fuel for fire, and then he'd pedal along the next day. I think that was very inspiring for me, and it was raining that day. It was Rohtang Pass, and I was really inspired by what he just told me, and he told that to me very casually. So I think I simply was inspired at that point in time, saying if this guy can do it on his cycle, I can clearly do it on my motorcycle. So I see cyclists as an inspiration, but at the same time, I love my motorcycle and I love speed. And hence I would want to do it a lot faster. At the same time, looking at greater distances, so to say, on a motorcycle is something that's a sweet spot between a cycle and a car. So I think that's the difference, wherein I'm looking for something that's as exciting as a cyclist, but at the same time not as boring as sitting in a cage. So it's somewhere in between.
And how did you get into this?
It's a long story, but yeah, I'll try and contain it. So this was back in 2008. So this was when I had my motorcycles and I used to commute to and fro to colleges, to my practice sessions. I used to be a tennis player before. But then never looked at motorcycling as a long distance device. But then there was this one point in time wherein I was in a relationship for almost 7 years, and that didn't work out. So this was this one day wherein I got the news that it didn't work out anymore, and I had to part ways. And the first instinctive reaction was to take a motorcycle and just escape the crowd. So that particular day sort of took me to another feeling of elation, so to say, you know. So that sort of gave me that freedom that I can take things in my own hands, sort of control my own emotions, and that's what motorcycle taught me. And from that day on, I decided, I don't know, the number of 50 came to my mind, saying let's target 50 road trips on a motorcycle, and let's do this around India, because no one really has seen India on a motorcycle so extensively in those days. Like this was 2007-8, so I wanted to do that personally, take this trip. And I still remember when I spoke to one of my friends. He was one of my roommates when I was staying in Gurgaon back then. And this guy laughed at me for 20 minutes. He was like, "This is not possible, you know. You are mad. You can't take 50 trips on the country. It's too random. You don't have a motorcycle. You hardly have any savings with you for a motorcycle. And how would you manage 50 trips?" So that was the challenge he threw at me. And he still remains my friend. And we have done 75 trips so far in the last, so to say, 14 to 15 years.
Wow.
And this is almost 3.5 lakh kilometers. And just recently, 3 weeks ago, I went with the same friend to explore Arunachal. And he was my pillion. And he was proud to be sitting behind me. And he felt safe because I had that experience. So it's quite the journey with him.
Yeah, so from being, bike being your escape mechanism to now your passion and you want to go places.
Yeah.
So while doing that, tell us something, scary which happened with you and ultimately turned out to be funny. Like some incident, if you can pick it up from your past.
This was scary initially, but we still laugh about it. So we'd gone to Kashmir. So this was with one of my friends, and he suggested that we should go to Kashmir on Christmas.
Okay.
So that was our theme of the ride. And we planned to take this ride when it was the coldest winters, so to say. And we had launched our ride on 23rd December, reached Kashmir by 25th. And the next day, when we were going to Gulmarg, it was so cold, it was like minus 15 or something, and we blew out our engine. So I just started the vehicle and the engine just popped off. So we fixed the engine. We had to sort of drag the bike 50 kilometers, back to the workshop and get it fixed. That was one part of the ride. It was a little scary, but we didn't know that this ride was going to get scarier by the minute. So we went to the mechanic. We got the bike fixed, and there was this sweet moment wherein this mechanic was the first mechanic in Kashmir to fix bullets, and he told us his story, fixed the bike for us, and from there we started a ride towards Delhi, the way back from Kashmir. So when we were doing that, there was a point where I stopped to refuel the bike. I was riding a Bullet, which is more, and that makes a lot of sound. It's just like a Royal Enfield, typical Royal Enfield motorcycle that makes a lot of sound, the old one. So I packed my bags, I refueled my bike, I sat in the bike, started it, and I expected my friend to sit behind me. So what happened was, he adjusted the luggage too, and there was a jerk. I thought he had himself seated behind me, and I rode off. So I looked back after I had done like almost 80 kilometers, and I entered Jalandhar, which is why I sort of put my hand back and said, "Are you there?" And he was not there. It was very scary, very scary. I was on the bike, and I turned back. I thought I lost him. I would have promised to myself that, boss, if he's alive, I will continue motorcycling, otherwise I won't. So I actually rode back, asked every cop on the road, that where is he? Did you see someone fall off? Did you see someone run over?
Yeah.
I was frantically scared. And then I rode back like almost 67 kilometers, really fast. And in the process, I had wrecked my engine, my newly built engine again. When I was riding, I just wanted to look for him, get him. And when I crossed the bridge, and there was one bridge I crossed, and I was at one end, and I was looking at that guy coming far into the other end, shouting at me, abusing me, shouting at me, saying, "Where are you?" and all that. And once I came in there, I just got off the bike, dropped the bike, and hugged him. I said, "You're alive."
Wow.
And I had tears in my eyes. He had tears in his eyes. And the anger was gone in a second. And we
Long
just hugged it
lost
out.
friend.
Yeah.
उनके मेले में मिले हुए.
We just hugged it out. But then that was a really scary moment when I was looking for him, you know. I really thought that something wrong had happened because he was dozing off in and out of sleep.
Yeah.
And I was really scared that he just fell off somewhere or, you know, some shit happened. But everything was good and nice. Then we ended up coming back to Jalandhar. And in the process, we broke the engine again because I had strained it. And then we ended up staying in a Gurudwara over there at Jalandhar. Very sweet people who gave me the place to stay. And then I boarded the bus. So I and my friend boarded the bus back to Delhi. And we had, I think, Carry On Jatta playing in the bus when we were coming back in our biker's jackets. In Delhi. So quite the episode. But yeah, this ride, he remembers till date. He refused to come with me for 6-7 more rides, but then later he managed to convince himself that it's fun.
He was like, check to karta nahi hai.
I got a silent motorcycle, by the way, after that.
Oh, good plan.
So yeah, it was fun that way, but scary at the same time.
So as cyclist, because I'm a cyclist, you know, cycling is meditation for me.
Yeah.
And when I'm cycling, there are a lot of thoughts going in my mind and as I travel through. So does the same happen with you guys also?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So, especially when you're solo, right? So I feel, be it cycling or motorcycling, a solo ride is a different ball game, and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So I realized this very early in my riding experience. So the first 5-6 rides were with a group, were with a friend of mine, were with 2 friends. But later I realized I should embark solo also.
Okay.
And I feel like when you're riding, whatever it is, with an engine or without an engine, with a motorcycle or a cycle, you have a lot of thoughts coming to your head.
Yeah.
So I, as a profession, I am into advertising. So it's my job to think of new thoughts every day. And plus you have your personal life that flashes in front of you.
Yeah.
And when you sort of take that ride, and when you see, so India as a country, it changes every 200 kilometers.
Oh, that's
So
a great observation.
the landscape. So once you start riding, once you start completing those 200 kilometers, you see a different culture, you see different people, you see different instances. So to say, the way of selling, so to say, the outside manners, so to say, the driving style, so to say, also the emotions of people when they interact with you are totally different every 200 kilometers. And they spark certain memories in your head, they spark certain thoughts in your head once you start riding across those cultures. And evidently, if you're a human being, you ought to get into deep thought. So that goes from, I know it's just wide, the range is so wide, you can't even expect what you're thinking. Sometimes you're thinking of your past relationship, sometimes thinking about your parents, sometimes thinking about your friends, sometimes thinking about what you want to do with motorcycling. Sometimes you get an idea, an epiphany, so to say, for advertising. So it's a range of thoughts that come to you when you're riding solo. And plus, it's a certain moment where you are just true to yourself. I think that's when you find out that you're truly solo. And that I think no one can understand if you're not done that.
So, see, as a cyclist, when I see touring on a cycle, I see struggles like, of course, solo, you're managing things by yourself, or even if you have a support vehicle, but still you're fatigued, you know, you're applying your own energy in terms of more power that you're applying manually without the engine being there. So I understand going even 200 kilometers is tough for us sometimes. So, but I want to understand what are the struggles of a biker. Like when I see from my perspective, आपका कोई struggle नहीं होगा, आप अपना बैठे machine on किया, you're on. You know, you would be enjoying it more when you reach a destination. But I want to understand specifically, कुछ तो struggle होगा. So, what are the struggles that you face, the toughest ones so far?
Yeah, when it switches on, it's great. When it doesn't, it's not.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's comparatively easier. It's less effort, but there are a lot of things that you have to plan for. Because on a motorcycle, what happens is, so you have many single parts coming together to create that symphony for the engine to work well, for the wheels to roll well, for you to handle that speed well. So it's a bond between man and machine. So to say, just as a cyclist, you know.
Yeah.
So here you have just the pedals to sync up with. But then at one point, even when you cycle, you you consider yourself as one with your cycle.
Yeah.
So it's the same case with the motorcycle too. But with the motorcycle, what happens is you have more moving parts to take care of.
Yeah.
So if the motorcycle is taking care of you, you got to take care of it on the way. And I don't do support vehicles.
Okay.
So I've not been the rider who goes in extensive groups and takes support vehicles with me, because I don't believe in that. Because if you're taking support, that means there's someone else bonding with your motorcycle.
Yeah.
And your motorcycle is your companion. You won't want someone else to babysit it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to take care of it yourself. I think that's what I believe in strongly. When it comes to struggles, it's been I mean, a plethora of struggles, so to say. And there have been points wherein I've broken down and said, I'm not going to pick a bike again.
Okay.
But after a week, you're so addicted to the experience that you want to go again.
Yeah.
So, my first motorcycle, just one experience I'd like to carve out.
Yeah.
This one particular bit wherein I had a second-hand Machismo, a Royal Enfield, that I'd bought for hardly 50,000 bucks. And that was my first long-distance motorcycle in Delhi.
Okay.
And I had to take care of it because it was an old motorcycle and you didn't get parts for it in the market. So that whole feeling of community, to speak to people who can help you out. I spoke to everyone from a collector to a mechanic to a customizer to a guy, to an 8-year-old guy who was the first one to ride today, a first civilian to ride today. He has his own resort in North Chukiatal, back in Uttarakhand. So even interacting with him and getting to know those old markets where you get those spare parts, it's been an experience, right?
Yeah.
So if you repair your own motorcycle, if you fix your own motorcycle, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling of being connected to the machine. So one point wherein I struggled a lot was I planned to ride with my brother on this particular motorcycle to Leh, and we had just 7 days with us to do Leh and back on a motorcycle, and we planned to do it with 2 people on it because we thought if 2 people can ride, we can ride for 20 hours a day.
Oh wow!
So the other guy can sleep when he's sitting behind. So I don't know to call it obsession or foolishness. I would suggest no one to try it at home or ride for themselves. Yeah. But it was somewhere in between. I feel obsession should be foolish. Only then you can have fun with obsession, right? So I thought, okay, we'll do this trip. We went for it. We didn't check the bike properly. We had old tires on it, and this was when we had reached Dras, and that's near Kargil. Okay. And we had no one in the vicinity, and this was almost 8 in the night, and it was dark, and we had a flat tire, and there was no one there, like no one. If you switch off the light, you can just see the stars and nothing in front of you. It was so dark, and then we had to sort of drag the bike, change the tires ourselves. So we being amateurs at that time, we ended up changing the tire, but we also ended up tearing the tube while changing the tire. So we didn't have tubes with us. So we had to manage somehow we had all the pumps in place. It took us almost 3 hours to fix the puncture. And then
I can relate to that. Yeah.
It was 12 in the night.
Yeah.
We were sweating and all, even though the weather was cold, because we were working on the bike so much. And we just managed to ride 50 kilometers to the next village, and we had the flat tire again. Yeah, but we were glad that we reached the village, and it was a good effort, but we were totally frustrated, so to say. And we just wanted to just take a cab and come back home. But the next day, we spoke to the locals, and like I said, every single culture is different, and the people who stay in the mountains, they know what hardships are. Yeah. So looking at their hardships, our hardships look like nothing. So we just decided to get the bike fixed the next day by the neighborhood mechanic, and then we powered through to Ladakh. It was a moment wherein we saw slump, but the next day, I feel a good day's sleep can change a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. So, destination or the journey? What attracts you more?
Journey any day. So, destination excites me, whereas the journey is the experience I'm looking forward to. So, I like to place an ambitious destination, but make the most of the journey.
Okay. But sometimes has it happened that you have planned? Of course, you would be pre-planning your destinations, right? But
Not every time.
not every time. Like you would have planned to go on towards this, but you went towards someplace else, and did not even turn back and go to that same route, pre-planned route that you had decided. Has it happened?
So there are different stages to riding.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start riding, you want to be safe. You want to plan well. So in those days, you didn't have smartphones that are so advanced these days. So we had to write down maps from the Google Maps or from the laptop. So we took sheets of paper, carved out routes, planned the hotels. We didn't have even these travel websites and all. We didn't have booking websites. So we had to sort of plot our stays whenever we went out for a ride. We had to learn about the hotels through Google Maps.
Okay.
And then stay over there and go. And also we trusted our instincts saying if we go on the ride, then we can find a hotel on the way.
Okay.
So that was our planning in those days. So but as the time evolved, we started planning more and more. To a stage where we said we don't need a plan.
Lovely.
Plans started boring us.
Yeah.
So especially, I don't know, if you look at it right now, there's so much tech. And you want to constantly escape technology. You want to constantly go in and see what the world stands for in real terms.
Yeah.
So that is when you want to let go of technology. So these days I plan the direction. Almost 18 years down the line, I just plan the direction. If it's north, south, east or west.
Yeah.
And then I just pick and go. So I just want to see the mountains, or I want to see the beaches, or I want to see a mix of both, or I want to get into natural reserves. So that is the direction I choose, and then later see what happens. Because even if you pick point A and point B every single time, even if the same point A and point B, your journey will be different. So that's what I realized. Even every day I wake up and ride a motorcycle to work, every single day, that 10-minute journey is different, even if you're picking the same spots. So I feel the journey is what makes your life. Your destination is just the result.
And has it ever happened that you're going from point A to point B, and in between you see something like a beautiful space which you have not experienced before, and then you're like, okay, let's stop. You stop, and it has happened with me that I connect to the universe at that point of time. I start crying. So have you gone through those kind of emotions when you are in the nature, when you're traveling, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm so blessed to be in this space. You know, and thank you to the universe. Are you in that kind of space ever? Do you find yourself in that kind of space?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I am. Every day I wake up and I thank God for the experience I've had. You know, not just motorcycling, but as a human being also. It's very important for us to thank the universe for what we already have. And surely there have been numerous points, but most of the time it's been me controlling myself, saying I don't need to take that risk for that new experience, because at some point it becomes an addiction to look at new experiences every time you ride, and every time you start pushing your limits to a point wherein you don't want to push it more. So at one stage, yes, every single I've come up across numerous points wherein you want to sort of park your motorcycle, you just want to sit there for 4 hours. So there was this one place, so Goa, so to say, when I was riding to Goa, all my friends said that it's a place that's already been visited by so many people, and every single person takes a flight to Goa, and it's Goa all of a sudden, and it's not unique, it's not a sense of accomplishment. Why
wearing the same kind of t-shirts.
Twinning.
The whole group is twinning.
So why would you ride to Goa, right? Because everyone does.
And everyone becomes a bachelor there.
Exactly. You should be also. So I think it was one thing that all my rider friends told me, that don't ride to Goa. You can just simply fly down to Goa and experience it for your own self. You can enjoy that place and come back. But I thought Goa has a lot to offer, you know, not just the north, not just the parties and all, but it also has a lot of varied terrain. So one single instance, when I went in search for sunsets every single time and sunrises the next day. So every place gives you a different vibe when the sun sets and the sun rises, even if you're at the same place. So there was one point when both sort of met each other. So this was South Goa, and there was a cliff that would overlook the sea. And I went there for a sunset, And I was there with my motorcycle in the middle of the mountains, and I was looking at the sunset, and it was so peaceful that I ended up seeing the sunrise sitting over there beside the motorcycle.
Wow.
So the dog's going to sleep, the bird's going to sleep, and the next day the dog's waking up, coming to me. The sound of the birds, and then it's also it's the so the one thing I realized at that point is it was so vast, the land was so open that you could actually see the extent of the sea wavering from one end to the other. So it's a different sort of a wave in the night, whereas once the sun rises, it's at dawn, and you see that pendulum shifting a little bit more aggressively. So you see that whole world going there like that.
When you're broken my myth, one myth I had. Like, bikers है ये क्या enjoy करते होंगे tours में? इतने fast जाते हैं एक जगह से दूसरी जगह. But now that you've told me this, then I can connect to it. That no, it's not that. Speed is not always very fast. You do pause in between, and you do enjoy the nature as well.
Yeah, I think for me speed is greed.
Okay.
So that's only because of greed I end up speeding. Because there was this one point I had to do 4 terrains in one trip.
Okay.
So I had to do sea, sand, salt, and snow in one trip.
Oh, you've done that?
Yeah. So it was the beach on one day. In the morning, I saw the sunrise, and I wanted to see the desert the same day. So that was greed on my part.
Okay.
And it was this evening around 4 o'clock, and the sun was set. Was going to set at 5:36. So I had just 90 minutes with me, and I had to do the desert while the sun is still there. So that's when I speed.
Okay. So what's your vision, Gokul, now? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with your bike?
I think meet the real world, because that's very difficult these days. We don't meet the real person, the real nature, the real terrains. So I think going around the world for these real experiences that are really true to themselves, and it's really hard to take those turns at every single point, travel the world. So if India gives me 200 kilometers, different people, I think the world will give me millions of people, millions of places. And that's my vision. I think ride to different parts of the world to look for real experiences.
Fantastic. And would you like to spread any message with that to the world, to the universe?
Just be your true self, no matter what it is. And the universe will give.
Wow. What a beautiful thought. With that, we close this conversation. I think it's been a lot of things that I've actually experienced while talking to you in this last few minutes. Thank you so much.